in the car.
Oh, there's a cougar in the car. I put it in there.
Jesus. Look up idiot in the dictionary. You know what you'll find?
Picture me?
No! The definition of the word idiot, which you fucking are.
Rear there.
Student athletes. Oh, that is brilliant, sir.
Can you introduce me as Joker?
And we are live. Welcome, folks, to the American Movie Podcast. If you've never been here before, welcome aboard. I go through movies, news, documentaries, Netflix series, Netflix originals, Disney Plus series, and this is by far the best docu-series I would say I've seen. Okay, so it's the Imagineering story. It's on Disney Plus, and it is a docu-series inside how Disney first got started, how Walt started WED, which is Walt Elias Disney. It's a production company that creates all the animatronics and a lot of the robotics and a lot of the artistry and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff, and how it coincided with the nascent stage of Disneyland. So this is so fascinating because it's inside the Imagineers. So the Imagineers are some of the smartest people and brightest people and the most creative people on the planet, and it shows. Because Walt pushed them. He pushed them, men and women, throughout the 50s, which is really admirable as well, just because Disney is so progressive and so ahead of their time in forethought, innovation, and implication of gender norms. So anyways, so you get to see the beginning of Disneyland. And one of my favorite stories of all time, it's a really moving part, and it's in episode 1. You get to see the guy, they were creating the roller coaster, the Matterhorn, inside Disneyland. I don't know if you've ridden it. Let me know if you have. I loved it because there's like a Yeti in there. It scared me because there's like a split second where you realize, oh my God, a Yeti is right there. And then you realize, oh, I'm on a ride. But like the brief split second, you're like, oh man. But so the guy that built Matterhorn, he had to learn trigonometry. Like he had to go understand the physics and apply and learn on the fly with a deadline going on. If you're watching the live stream, it's right here inside. I'm playing it right now. And he sets out on this journey and creates the Matterhorn, which is just one of the most iconic roller coasters in Disneyland. So, dude, this was amazing. It was amazing just because you get to see the animatronics too. These guys were creating animatronic figures like Pirates of the Caribbean that are moving, and it looks like they just threw up a Radio Shack. And it's like all of these wires and gears, and it was all just, they figured out, they ran into problems, and then they figured out a creative way to get behind those problems, and then they just kept moving forward. And Walt just kept using people's money. There was so much. I think it was triple the cost. I think it was going to be $6 million to create Disneyland, but then it ended up being almost 17 or 18. So like there was a lot riding on it. And one of the most fascinating things was the opening day of Disneyland. Nobody really showed up, and everybody thought it was a flop. The newspapers, naysayers, everybody said it was one of the biggest like busts known when it comes to private investment and stuff like that. So, but what actually happened was the public thought it was just going to be overridden by crowds, and that wasn't the case at all. So everybody stayed home the first day, and they were so close to this deadline of opening Disneyland, like they had concrete poured, and then they brought the helicopters over this concrete for walkways, and they had them hover so they could dry the concrete in time. That's how close it was for the grand opening of Disneyland. Like they just had to they had to push as hard as possible to get this thing open on its deadline. So it was fascinating. And that's just like episode 1. I watched the first 2 episodes so far because that's all they release. They do a drip campaign where they release one each individual week. And let me know if you like that instead of like the bingeable stuff. I kind of appreciate it. I don't know if they're going to keep with that path, or maybe just because this is like the first month of Disney and their originals. But I really hope that they continue with these originals and get to see behind the scenes of Disney World and Disney, the company itself, and how it just strives for innovation, and it creates all of these beautiful things, including theme parks, robotics, And I'm pretty sure they were one of the first people, or had the biggest digital recording software, or they were the biggest purchaser of the digital recording software, because it was just so brand new technology. Because before then they had recorded on videotape or audio tapes, like cassettes and stuff. So it was really fascinating. You get to see the transition between them pushing the innovation and then applying new technology to this innovation in order to create even further, and just like the investment and forethought of that. And it's cool. And I mean, a lot of it doesn't. A lot of Disneyland just looks the exact same, even when they do videos of it, and it's really cool. So another thing, if you get to go on the underground, so in Disney World, Walt hated that the characters were out of place and they had to walk from theme park to theme park, and they would be out of character. So like if they were in a place and they were more of a jungle person, like it looked weird if they were on Main Street USA. So they built an underground system that was like millions and millions of dollars, that were just like no one had done before for a theme park. And if you look at the colors along the walls, it's color coded to show which area of the theme park you are under. So check that out as well. It's a lot of this stuff is just so fascinating. So, I mean, it's cool. So if you don't have Disney Plus, I think it's worth just checking this out. But by no means like you need to get it, but it's cool. And I just really, really enjoyed it. And it's really fascinating just to see one of the biggest media conglomerates and the biggest creator of some of the most renowned movies of all time, how they apply all of this innovation and how they actually think and strategically move as a company. So let me know if you've seen this. Let me know if you liked it. Let me know what your favorite episode is. Let me know if you're going to Disneyland or Disney World soon, all of that jazz. So don't forget to follow me on social media, all that stuff. And if you can start your own podcast, you can get the Podcast Publisher Pro, which is down below. The link is in the description. It is socialcreative.org. And if you want a sneak peek, you can get the ebook that this course is based on, and you can get the 10 essentials ingredients for in order to have a successful podcast. So check that down below. That's for free. I'll send it to you. So yeah, until next time, this has been Matthew Benjamin with the American Movie Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, because there's going to be so much more Disney Plus, and I hope there's more Disney originals like this. So yeah. Bye.
Damn! It's a goddamn cougar in the car! Don't lose a cougar in the car. I put it in there.
Jesus. Look up idiot in the dictionary. You know what you'll find?
Picture me.
No. The definition of the word idiot, which you fucking are.
Rear of a derrick.